Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a kind of a fun one. I am showing the process of going blonde from darker hair. So I actually did this model's hair twice, and I did one process about 6 weeks ago and I finished the other one today, and I'm just going to include both footage in this video. So the first one I actually did at a class at my hair school that I taught, so I'm going to include a little bit of that footage so you can see the first session, and then I'll do what we did today as well. So it's going to be a longer video, but it's pretty informative, so stay tuned. Hello everybody, it's Jessica from JC Style Salon, and this is the fabulous Keely. So she is a stylist at my salon, and today she's going to be assisting me. We're going to our old hair school, we went to the same hair school, and we're going to be teaching a class all about balayage, baby lights, blonde. We're so excited, so get ready for a fun time. Woo! Audio Jungle.
Color, we put a brown on it, we did a color remover, we put more bleach on it, and now it's just this color, whatever this is. It's like I thrown out, and then it's like pink, and then it's
She wants to be blonde. So, kind of like you. She's actually in the middle of it. She has the red color. Yep. So this will be good for you.
Yes.
So, what we're working with right now is she has her natural regrowth, which is actually a warmer color. She's kind of strawberry blonde. And then we have some bleach throughout here, and then some of like the coppery tones. So we're going to do a mix between balayage and baby lights to get her as blonde as possible without pushing the hair too far. So where do you part your hair normally?
You can part it in the middle.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you guys my favorite techniques for balayage. I kind of balayage like 3 or 4 different ways, so I'll start showing you guys that. And then I want you guys to come up here and do it on your own just so you can get a feel for it. And I'm not going to be going over that blonde a ton because she's already pretty blonde right there, but I want to bring it up a little higher. So one of the ways I like to blend is I'll paint it on, and then I'll take my fingers and I'll just kind of blur that line in. And that way it's just not so harsh, you know? And then I like to open air paint a lot, so I'm just going to let that sit right there. And I'm just leaving her natural base out. Sometimes with balayage I'll paint a darker base on, but since she's wanting to be really blonde, this is our first session, and then next time we're just going to do a full head of highlights. But I really wanted to see what her hair would do with this technique first before I did a full head of highlights. Because as you can kind of see, she has her natural, the color, and then the bleach. So she's got like 3 tones going on there. And then saturation is key when it comes to blondes. You don't want it to be splotchy at all, so I really make sure I saturate it. So as you guys can see, I'm always doing that zigzag. When I'm parting, it's always zigzagged like that. So I'm just going to take this whole section, and I'm going to paint on, and I'm going to do the V, but I'm also going to do like the W, if that makes sense. So I'm going to bring it up on each side, but then I'm also going to bring it up in the middle.
Thanks. Oh, that action.
Oh, look at that. Q is my favorite. And then sometimes I'll like to take my brush and I like to go upwards like that, and I feel like that helps blend it a lot. And don't have like a ton of product when you do that, just kind of use it to blend. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Our brushes are the best things ever for balayaging, blonde, even all over colors. You guys, if you come up and try this, you'll see, like, they're so much smoother and they just glide through the hair. They make it so much easier.
The bristles are so soft.
Yes, it's amazing. I love it.
I just bought mine out.
Did you? But I provided for the salon, so I'm like, there's no way we can't use these. I love them. Audio Jungle. let's go over what we're going to mix up for this today. I am going to be using Goldwell Silk Lift Bleach. I just recently started using this and I really love it. I've been seeing really good results and it kind of acts like a silky texture, hence the word silk lift, so I really, really love it. Okay, so for this color, I'm using Goldwell Silk Lift with 20 volume, and I'm using the Redken pH bonder, which I used in my last video, and I totally forgot to tell you guys how I felt about it. And my conclusion is I really like it, and it's so crazy because I'm such an olaplex girl, but I really, really loved it, and I thought it worked really well. It didn't have to bump up the developer. You don't have to have a longer wait period, so there were definitely benefits to it. Alright, so I'm going to be highlighting with a board today, and this is something that I've done before, but I haven't been doing it a ton until just recently, and so I wanted to show you guys why I use it and how I use it. So I just put a bunch of foils on my board, as you can see, and then I just use my board as a little platform, and I start balayaging and weaving on top of it. Today I'm doing baby lights, so I'm weaving on top of my board. And the benefits of using a board with highlights is that, you know how at the bottom of the head, it kind of goes in where the neck is, and then it comes more out towards the crown. I always feel like doing highlights towards the bottom of the head is so hard because of the head shape, so it's really easy to get like tiger stripes and slippage with your foils. So this is just a really good base to go off of, and you can get really close to the root with the board. So if you have a client who likes to get close to the root, or you just feel like it's harder for you to highlight underneath the head, I hope that makes sense, but to me it does. This would just be really beneficial to use a board. And I am just doing really tiny, fine baby lights because I want this to be a really soft, natural look with getting her like pretty blonde as well. So I'm just going up the head, and I part the hair in the middle down the back and go up on a diagonal and meet at the top. And I am just going to be doing that all the way up using my board. And I recently went to a class where I learned a lot of new techniques, and that included the board and baby lighting, which I had been doing, but it was just awesome because I kind of got to fine-tune my skills. So raise your hand if you follow Habit Salon, because that's where I took my class, and they are just incredible. I learned from Chrissy and Marissa and Becky and Rich. Chrissy's husband was so awesome too. He taught us a lot about just like the business side of things, which as a business owner was great for me. So yeah, I just learned so much at Habit. So if you don't follow them, go follow Habit Salon. I think they have a YouTube as well, so I'll link that below. But I just learned so much from them. They are like the blonding masters, and I just totally believe in continuing your education, which is why I was willing to pay the money and spend the time to go and learn from them. It was like a 7-hour class, hands-on. It was great. So Habit Salon, huge shout out. I love you guys. Okay, so now that I've done the back of the head and the sides, I've started the mohawk section, and now that I'm doing the bangs, I'm coming around towards her, and the first 2 foils around her face are going to be slices rather than baby lights, and the reason for that is because I want to create the look of a money piece, which is like the thick, full highlight in the face, if that makes sense. I just want it to be like brighter around her face. So these first 2 foils are going to be straight slices, and then after that I'm just going to do the baby lights really close together. Throughout the rest of her head I kind of left subsections to give her that rooted look, but right now I'm doing them really close together so it's brighter around the face. Okay, and I feel like I have to put a disclaimer out there. I get a lot of hate whenever I put bleach over lightened hair, and I just want to say that my clients always know that when you're going lighter, there's a possibility for damage and dryness and breakage. It's just how it goes. Let's be honest, we can't get lighter if we don't use the chemicals that, you know, require us to get lighter. So I have all my clients sign color consent forms. I have them all use Olaplex or the Redken pH bonder. They have to do deep conditioners at home. They know how to take care of their hair, and I educate my clients on using Kevin Murphy and just really good products for your hair so that you can continue to take care of it after it's been damaged. So I just kind of want to put that out there. Every stylist does things differently. If you don't agree with the way I do things, I totally respect that, because I feel like we all have a different way of doing things, but we're all talented in our own right. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I know that it could be damaging, but she was totally okay with it, and it turned out really beautiful. Okay, so now that she's fully foiled, I'm going to go through and tease out her ends. So I like to tease the hair, as you can see, and then I just kind of go and balayage bleach over it, and then I'll put that in a foil. And this is just going to give her ends a lighter appearance as well, since we're trying to go blonde all over. And this is another technique that I learned from Habit as well, and it's just made all the difference because it pops your blondes out, gives the ends a brighter look while the root is kind of darker and rooted, you know? So I would definitely recommend trying it. Typically I bump up the developer when I do these dropouts because they tend to lift a little slower, but I just used the same developer on her because she's already pretty light, and it worked totally fine. Now I am rooting her in the bowl, and I'm using 7N by Goldwell Colorance, and I just parted her down the center, and I'm working my way up the back of the head, just doing it about an inch down, and I'm leaving this on for about 10 minutes, and then where I did those money pieces in the front, I'm just leaving that out in like a little rectangular section, and I put it on that section the last 5 minutes so it's brighter around her face. Alright, now that her root is done, I'm leaving it on and just adding her toner in, and I mixed up 9V, 9P, 9B, shades EQ, and I am just saturating that through, making sure I get it all over her blonde pieces, and then I'm just going to work together her root color with her toner, and I'm letting that sit about 2 to 5 minutes depending on how fast her hair takes. And I will link all of my color formulas down below in the bottom bar because it's kind of confusing. I've used a lot of different things, so just in case you don't watch the whole video or you don't listen to all my voiceovers, I'll link it below. Alright, so now we're just cutting her hair, giving her kind of a fresh chop, taking off about 2 inches, just because when you bleach your hair, it's pretty smart to do that just to get rid of any dry ends. Like I said, when you're going lighter, there is a possibility for damage. Make sure your client always understands that. She didn't necessarily need to cut her hair, but she kind of wanted to, so we did. She did have drier ends when we were done, so you don't need to comment that because we totally understood, but she's going to be using Olaplex, and she's going to be using Kevin Murphy shampoos and conditioners, and those two products together will help her hair feel really good, and it will continue to get healthier over time. Alright you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this 2-part tutorial. I know it was kind of a long video, so if you got through the whole thing, thumbs up to you. My next video is going to be my Q&A. I appreciate all the questions you left below. I've had so many questions, and I'm so grateful that you guys want to know more about me and more about my career. It's just so flattering. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.